All right, good evening, 6:03. Well, the first is start our 6 p.m. agenda. First, we have a public hearing number one, proposed local law for further amendment to chapter 241 relative to solid waste and collection, clarifying compliance and enforcement. Everybody here to speak to this local law? Again, the proposed local law, further amendment to chapter 241 relative to solid waste collection, clarifying compliance and enforcement. Everybody here to speak to that? Last call, proposed local law, further amendment to chapter 241 relative to solid waste and collection, clarifying compliance and enforcement. I will close that public hearing. Call to order, please.
Councilmember Silliman.
Here.
Councilmember Pinelli.
Here.
Councilmember Lane.
Here.
Councilmember Thompson.
Here.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Present.
Councilmember Michaels.
Here.
Councilmember Scott and Carpenter recorded absent.
Thank you. You can all rise to speak to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If you can all have a moment of reflection, prayer for the McNeil family, lost Mary McNeil last week. Let's have a moment of silence and prayer. Thank you. Proclamations. Proclamation number one, declaring October 8th, 2021 State of the Road Day in honor of the 90th anniversary of Lodge 1730.
Whereas Stella Doro Lodge 730, a women's lodge affiliated with the Sons and Daughters of Italy and America, provided new immigrants from Italy with familiar faces and shared traditions when they first arrived in the United States. Since its inception on October 8, 1934, throughout the arrival of the most recent immigrants. Whereas Stella Doro Lodge gave fraternal support to new immigrants from Italy in order to help them become accustomed to life in the United States, and has preserved Italian culture and traditions for immigrants and their descendants to provide a continuing sense of heritage. And whereas Stella Doro Lodge now includes members of all backgrounds, not just Italian, thus enriching all members with a variety of talents and traditions. And whereas Stella Doro Lodge has shared Italian culture and traditions with the Portland community at large through social and cultural events, including lectures, nursing home visits, dinner dances, and participation in the St. Anthony's Day procession. Whereas Stella Doro Lodge has financially supported local charities, organizations, and other worthy causes benefiting the people of Portland, including Access to Independence, founded by late Stella Doro member Francis Pizzola, the YWCA, Loaves and Fishes, Portland High School events, and local students' needs. Whereas Stella Doro Lodge fundraises to make annual contributions to national charities, organizations, and international causes, including Alzheimer's disease, autism, cancer, Lighthouse for the Blind, veterans, Cooley's anemia, and a school for needy children in Nigeria. And whereas Stella Doro Lodge aims to continue supporting and enriching the Portland community in all worthy causes it can. Now, therefore, I, Scott Steve, Mayor of the City of Portland, do proclaim October 8, 2024, Stella Doro Day in the City of Portland, in recognition of the 90th anniversary and the many contributions of Stella Doro Lodge 1730, and set my hand and affix the seal of the city this first day of October 2024.
Thank you. What a great organization. And we're excited that, what they've done for the, understanding and keeping the culture alive is, something it's great for having that tradition all the way through. We certainly appreciate that of all heritages. That's very active and very responsive and having a dinner dance, I believe that's Nelly's on, right? That's right in the whole situation, so we're excited about that. And Ricardi, if you could come up and maybe say a few words and, make some introductions if necessary.
I'd like to introduce the members of our lodge here in Portland. I don't know if you understand, Stephanie Passery Densmore, Carmela Pizzola, Gisela Pizzola, Diane Miller, Francesca Pizzola, Marie Manastra, Alice Gahey, Nika Pizzola, Sheila Ossett, Adrian Passery, Angela Ostrander, Dolores Heller, Lorraine Fox, and Joanna Paul. I would like Linda Riccardi, I'm the president of the Celador Lodge, and I'm just honored to be here. Thank you so much for, having this day for us. Next week, October 8th, will be 90 years. We're a women's organization. We've always run, we're very proud of that. We have about 37 members, but we're strong, mighty, and we're small but mighty. So, yes, we are going to be having a dinner dance at Tonelli's with Italian music and food and dancing. So, anybody's interested, you're more than welcome to attend. Thank you.
It'd be nice to stop by. Thank you very much. It'll be your compliment. Yeah, we throw us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Celador Lodge would like to thank Mayor Steve, Common Council, and the City of Portland for this great honor. The proclamation already mentions much about the history of the Celador Lodge. I'd like to just mention a little bit more about the Italian community of Portland. The very first Italian immigrants came to Portland in the late 1890s and continued coming in large numbers through the early 1920s. Many led here by the opportunity of work for the wood wire at the wood wire factory and other industries here in Portland. And in the beginning, the new arrivals needed the support of their fellow countrymen as they adjusted to life in the new country with different laws and customs. Italians continued coming here into Portland through the 1920s, 30s, of course, not during World War II. But after World War II, other people came in the 1950s to the 1970s. And we would like to thank the Portland community for their embracing of our Italian community, for their frequenting Italian activities such as the St. Anthony's Day Festival and other activities that Celador Lodge has offered to the community. And we hope to continue having new members and serving the Portland community for many decades to come. Thank you very much.
Anything else like it? I look at the names that are involved, Pizzolas, and what she did for our community in the ADA world. We still live with that today. As a matter of fact, this morning at 7:05, Mike did it back at DPW and I were meeting him. Name comes up, so you all have a great impact. Thank you for all you do. Sure, appreciate it. Thank you.
Where's the bus?
That's right.
Election night, St. Anthony's.
I'll be there, don't you worry.
Next St. Anthony's, according to the event. Every time I go there, he's like, yeah.
Oh, maybe the other day.
Thanks for coming.
On the board, just leave everyone.
That's awesome. That's great. I didn't know either. All right, so we'll move on to proclamation number 2. October 6th through the 12th, 2024, Fire Prevention Week in the city of Portland.
I'll move down towards the end of the whereases, which the fire department encourages everyone in the city of Portland to make sure that they have working smoke alarms and to test those smoke alarms at least once a month. Whereas the city of Portland Fire Department is dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection education. And whereas the 2024 Fire Prevention Week theme, smoke alarms, make them work for you, serves to remind us of the importance of having working smoking alarms in the home. Now, therefore, I, Scott Steve, Mayor of the City of Portland, do hereby proclaim October 6th through the 12th, 2024 as Fire Prevention Week throughout the city, and urge all of the people of Portland to make sure their homes have working smoke alarms and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of the Portland Fire Department.
All right, thank you. So, this is an important recognition, and I know the fire chiefs, on video doing interviews and discussions on different ways for fire prevention, and they can draw attention to it. I want to thank Alderman Beckwith for his drive in making the smoke detectors available. I think we're in the last 8 months, 425 smoke detectors have been installed between rolling into last year and up to date. That's a pretty significant amount. And we remember that story that was a few months ago, maybe May, where we had found an old sticker that one that installed before it was and saved. So you never know where that's going to happen, so we appreciate all those efforts. Chief, you come up to receive that proclamation. That would be great.
One, two, three. One more.
No hug for the
One,
chief?
2, 3.
Where's the love?
Oh, you turned away. There you go.
There's nothing to say. No comment to do.
Just real quick, maybe Garrett or Wayne, you wanna come back up and tell them what's going on in the fire department? You guys doing your annual Wednesday thing and.
Well, it's awful difficult to be the second proclamation compared to what just happened, but yes.
I know you're getting cider and donuts, they're getting Italian.
There you go. So, so annually, October is Fire Prevention Month. We kick off in Portland, the Fire Prevention Week, where we do a lot of education and stuff with the Pumpkin Fest. Same time, we have an open house next door at the fire station where we have a lot of activities and educational information. It's ironic that the National Fire Protection Association, they said this year's theme would be related to smoke detectors. We've been talking about it for a year in this city and how important they are. And we've, with the council's support, grants, donations, we've done a lot of stuff already. So I'm glad the national side of this is finally catching up to Portland. So we have a lot of stuff that's happening, and we'll be out with the schools doing different things. So if anybody's, I'm sure you'll all be down for Pumpkin Fest. Just walk up and see what there is at the fire station. Yes.
Are you still installing free smoke detectors?
So we do install free smoke detectors. The intent is like 1 and 2 family homes. All right. And obviously we have to manage that because there could be a potential for a number of smoke detectors go to one resident. And we have to be very careful of that. But the staff has been directed that if they're at a call, there's no smoke detectors. It doesn't matter what type of occupancy it is. get a smoke detector in and we'll figure it out. So yes, they are there. But we're limited in funds and stuff, so we're trying our best to do it. But again, you've supported us, you got donations, and we're trying to keep the whole thing along.
Thank you.
Okay, thank
Thanks,
you.
Steve. Appreciate it. And they're so committed in their fire prevention that the administrative assistant, either here, right?
Yeah, that's,
That's not committed there. So, and it's great to see them wearing their, pink, t-shirts today. Pink leather t-shirts, that's also nice too. Okay. Now we'll move on to privilege of the floor. There's nobody signed up, so we'll do financial report.
Thank you. So for the financial report, if you want to take a look, you'll see that we are less than 75% on both expenditures and revenues at this point. We are still higher on the percentage of expenditures than the revenues, so we are still working at a little bit of a deficit. We're continuing to take in both taxes and the water billing that's just gone out, that should start coming in here hopefully at the end of this week as well. Overall, we've been working to start working on next year's budget. You'll see that here within the next couple of weeks. I've sat with nearly every one of the department heads to work through their budgets, where they are, what they actually need. Working very hard to pare down yet again. You know, this has been an ongoing theme, but I really appreciate the effort the department heads made to make it clear what they absolutely have to function and tighten things up even more than has already been done. So that's been most of this month actually, is working on next year's budget and trying to get that in line. Also, we've been doing a bunch of work working on just understanding exactly where we are with all of our various grants and our reimbursements for that. And we will have the auditors in the week next to finish up on 23. So that's just kind of the quick overview. And if anybody has specific questions for me, I'm happy to answer.
I just have one quick thing on the grant. I know I've asked from the past, and we seem to never get it. I know you have a lot to do. You're doing a great job. At some point, I'd like to see where we are in the grants that you just mentioned, but I want to go back to, if, I don't know, pick a year, 5 years. Whatever grants we had in 5 years, was it completed? Were we paid? Was it spent? We never had that.
Yeah, and that's one of the.
I think we talked about it before. I mean, it's a lot of work, I understand. It's not gonna happen today or tomorrow.
No,
You
and
understand
that's,
what this money is, where it plant, probably never know where it plants. A lot of them, we don't know a lot of them, but that's another conversation, but.
No, that actually, it's a very valid point, and that's a conversation I've actually started having with our accountant, and she and I are, I think, on the same sheet of music. One of the things we gotta look at, not just grants, but across all of our capital projects. We'd like to look at what's grants, what's funded, so some grants are straight up grants, some are reimbursable, and we are working together to put together like it's going to be a very large sheet, which makes us very happy and fun. We love our spreadsheet, so.
Yeah, you're like it because we can't understand.
No, but one of the things we want to look at is so that we can make sure that we're looking back and that anything that we should have been reimbursed for that we have been, if there's anything we've missed submitting, that we catch up on that. So no, right to your point, we are absolutely, that's part of what we're working on. It's probably not going to happen within the next month, but maybe the month after. I'm hoping to at least have something
No, it's.
that's a little bit more
Before the
useful.
first of the year with all the new budget stuff.
Yeah.
And one other thing I'd like to, coming in the first of the year on budget is the school system, what they're actually paying us in our portion or what they owe us in snow removal.
Okay, I will make a note of that, because I have no earthly idea on that.
A lot of people don't even know we do it.
We know we're paid, but we're working on
Well, then
that.
it's usually paid up. We're getting paid and it needs to get addressed.
That'll be in the budget.
Yeah.
Troy, are you saying on the grounds itself or
Yes,
all?
well, we do a lot of the plowing.
Okay,
Don't we also plow down through the center of college?
Be a city road.
I
We
think,
actually do snow.
yeah, the big road,
We own the top half, but they own the bottom half.
of the road is all for the city roads, you don't find it. They do the other side of the big road.
do some of this work, right?
Well, I think about that.
And then apparently, there was at some point, an MOU written with the city school district to plow the park.
That's where I'm getting.
That's so there's fun, and that had been authorized, without knowledge of this office knowledge by previous,
I wasn't throwing you on the bus, but it's a part
Department.
numbers, we
Yeah,
can
department.
address it, you don't get anything else?
yeah. That's something that Mike will be working on when he gets his feet all wet, he's still jumping in. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Anybody else have any questions on financials? All right, mayor's report, we'll go through everything now, audio's okay, online, yes, okay. So the police department, I'm just gonna go through everything real quick. The police department's doing a proactive noise and party. And they're expecting to issue tickets, so they're all done warning and they're going to be proactively approaching those areas. There's numerous areas that are continuous to be a problem, so they're on top of that. Today they started a breast badge awareness and that started today and they're raising money for the Cancer Resource Center of the Finger Lakes. So if you see an officer with a pink badge, you'll know that they're sponsored to do that. They pay for that privilege, that fundraiser for that. So thank you for that. 3 of our field officers now go off field training this week, so they'll be actually on their own, so to speak. So that's great news, and we have 1 going into training, so they'll be with their FTO over the next time. Did you see your packet today from the police commission? I know it's like a drum roll, right? I didn't get a chance to really read it and open it yet, so the recommendations came to me, so I'll start my interview process for the chief soon. Youth Bureau, football's up 28%. Football's up 48%, so it's great to see some of these numbers. Ball, softball is up 13%. Great to see these numbers get up again. There's levels where the kids are out being active and being part of it. Reminder signups for soccer, basketball, and wrestling are now, and October 26th is trunk or treat. I think there's 30 people signed up so far, which is great to have that. Thank you for that. Pumpkin Fest is this weekend, so they're looking for volunteers if anybody wants to do it. Be in one of the tents helping out, or I can. Let's see.
I'll be there.
In DPW, they got the dumpster corral down on the Grand Ave parking lot. Grand Ave's come along very well. We got some paving done up to Graham. Main Street continues along with the sidewalks, some issues there we're trying to deal with for ADA compliance. So we have some battles there. We have a couple other lawsuit battles we're working on from the legal point, which we'll have more information about that as we go. Code office is doing a great job at getting some of these houses that need attention and being addressed, which is great. And thank the Captain Effort for helping me with my tomorrow's chef stand up at the Great Peak, Chefs Against Domestic Violence stance. I think it's my 3rd year entering into that contest. And going up and talking trash at Great Peak tomorrow at 6. If you can make that, that would be great because I'm not going to win.
What do you make?
I can talk trash.
Or is it a secret? It could be a secret.
It's a 2. We call it
Only
2
two
alarm.
alarms, not as spicy.
2 alarm because it's not as spicy. Until the fighter Roy, chicken wings. I tell you, it's awesome.
Chicken Riggy is gonna win, I know
Not
that.
only he can be a mean code enforcement, he make them mean chicken chili. Appreciate both of those. Thank you for your help on that. So excited to get up there and have a good time doing that. And hopefully, start playing. Okay. With that said, I think that was all I had. So we'll go on to ward reports. I think go right to Ward 2.
Woohoo, Ward 2. We are still having an issue with parking on Clayton and Pleasant. I was thinking of asking the police commission to consider changing the 15-minute parking in front of the YWCA because people aren't spending 15 minutes there. They are just camping there. And then that narrows the street and people tend to think, oh, we can park on the street further up too. So So I'm thinking about asking about that, but I will talk to the Y first. DPW is going to put in a no parking sign and paint the corner of Clayton and Pleasant because people are tending to park too close to that corner so that emergency vehicles can't make it around the turn. I am still requesting a temporary sign, even if it's just painted on the barrel saying, please stop at the barrel as you head down Pleasant before you hit Groton Ave, because it's really become a one-lane road. And somebody popped a tire recently coming up the street because they were forced over. So just be really careful there. People are running the red light. I know you have to wait a long time and then you have to go so slowly that sometimes the light turns and you still want to go. People have been pretty respectful, but it's still a problem and we've got a month to go. So I talked to the head of DPW about that and he's considering some sort of temporary sign. We have a lot of trash. We had a lot of trash and glass. And I was told by one constituent that Lower Clayton looked like a ghetto. So I called the code office and Captain Roy Everett got right on it. And he even reported a call where he was talking very politely to some young people about, we need this cleaned up tonight. You know, we've already talked to your landlord and it'll look good for you. It's cleaned up tonight. And he asked the DPW to sweep the street, and I'm so appreciative at how quickly that we made that happen. Thank you so much, Captain Everett. We got a good report from Bruce Adams, head of the wastewater treatment. He said that COVID has come back down in the community, so that's good news. And let's see. It has been noisy, so I'm really happy to hear about that progress. And I just want to encourage people to call the fire department and ask them to put smoke alarms in your home. It took me many years to do that because it seemed like a privilege that I, as a council member, shouldn't necessarily ask for, but they were happy to do it. They did a beautiful job. They were so respectful and they put in more than I expected. They explained that we should have one on the stairs, going upstairs, because it would trigger with smoke faster than the one on the landing upstairs. Anyway, they explain everything. You won't feel bullied into doing something you don't want to do. If you don't put a smoke alarm in a certain room, they won't do it. They're just lovely people and are very respectful of your home when they come in. And the smoke alarms last for 10 years. So you don't have to change the batteries for 10 years, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So that's it for the second ward.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Pennell.
All's good in the third ward. Good. Quiet time.
Oh, good.
Ms. Smith?
What's going on with the couch? I see it for sale sign.
The one on the corner.
Yeah,
It's been purchased and the windows have been ordered.
excellent.
Even better than tearing it down.
Yeah,
Worked out perfect.
Yep, did.
yeah, good.
Ms. Lang?
Had an issue with a new drain grate on Pearl Street that I have to talk to Mike about. I had a call from a constituent regarding agenda item number 3 that we'll get to when we get to it. And other than that, work is good.
Perfect. Mr. Thompson?
A couple things, there's a call it an impingement or road obstacle on Port Boston Conroy. I got a call from a high school student's mother. And let's just say whatever's coming up out of the ground at that section where it's been milled has caused some issues or concerns with this person's car. Ironically, I also hit the thing the following day with a tire. I'm hoping we can just put a cone over top of it to let people know that this thing is sticking up out of the ground.
Where's the location again?
Pomeroy and, Fort Watson.
Right as you turn
As you
by
turn.
Walgreens.
Walgreens.
Probably some gate valve, waters, gas or something.
Yeah,
But it doesn't, it's up.
so,
Is that when they were paving today?
be great if they already did.
Were they putting it there?
Yeah. They spent a long time.
Yes.
Maybe that was taken care of.
That would be great.
Now you're gonna get it because they're all gonna be low.
There's been a couple of felines missing in the ward, and so I don't know if they're spayed or neutered, but you know, if you have the opportunity to spay or neuter your cat, dogs, that sort of thing, they're getting loose, potentially could cause other concerns for the community, so consider that. And I also got a call about agenda item number 3 from the constituent, so.
I did.
All right, thank you. Respect.
Well, it has been like, the eighth ward, I was able to talk down an issue with a homeowner today. They could have escalated into something worse, but they seem to work out all right, and I haven't heard anything since, so let's say the issue's been resolved. That's all I have. Yeah.
Okay. With that, we'll move on to agenda, approval of minutes. Any questions or deletions? Minutes, can I get a motion? Sullivan, all those in favor? Opposed, carried. Okay, resolutions, agenda item number 1, adopt local law number 5 of 2024, further amend chapter 241 relative to solid waste collection, clarifying compliance and enforcement.
Resolved that the city of Portland Common Council does hereby approve a local law to further amend chapter 241 of the city code relative to solid waste collection, specifically compliance and enforcement thereof. And be it further resolved that the proposed local law shall read as follows.
Take a motion.
I'll motion.
And I'll back with any questions? Excited to get this enforcement started and be able to be a little bit more diligent about left out barrels. Overall, the kind of situation is going well. We're in negotiations currently now to try to work out some of those details regarding that. Regarding the contract for next year, which is last year, and then looking into the future. But it's exciting to be able to get some of the stuff cleaned up, and overall, this adjustment is coming in 2 years after it seems to be working well.
Councilmember Sullivan. Councilmember Pinello.
Aye.
Councilmember Lane.
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson.
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
On agenda item number 2, there should be do you have those copies? Does everybody have a copy of that? So, okay, agenda item 2, amend the 2024 adopted budget by 77,050 .54.
Resolved that the city of Portland Common Council does hereby amend the 2024 city budget in the amount of $77,050.50 as outlined in the accompanying table.
Motion. So Beckley, Swain. Yeah, so the amendment on the agenda was just that it did, when I transferred over the table, was a little bit off. For whatever reason, it didn't make sense. So that's the only adjustment. The wording is all the same, just the only amendment is that the amounts are exactly the same. It's just the middle section. Didn't come up. So does anybody have any questions? Okay, move it, please.
Councilmember Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilmember Pinello. Councilmember Lane.
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson.
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith. Councilmember Michaels.
Agenda item number 3, authorizing agreement to voluntary transition. They say voluntary transition of Medicare eligible retirees to the city sponsored group Medicare supplemental plan.
Resolved that the city of Portland Common Council is committed to providing quality and affordable health insurance for city of Portland retirees while achieving cost savings for both the city of Portland and its retirees through the voluntary transition of Medicare eligible retirees to a city-sponsored group Medicare supplemental plan. And be it further resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to enter into an agreement with the Greater Tompkins County Municipal Health Insurance Consortium to facilitate the transition of Medicare eligible city retirees to the city-sponsored group Medicare supplemental plan.
I'll move it.
Mr. Long, give a second. Mr. Beckwith.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay.
And as much as I appreciate the, highlighting of the perceived benefits of the group Medicare supplement plan, I really wish the word volunteer could have been in that last paragraph. I see it up above a couple times. I wish it could have been, and don't understand why it couldn't have been in the last final paragraph.
You mean volunteer?
Volunteer, yeah.
So it's in the second to last.
Yes. But it's not in the last.
Which is part of the resolution.
Yeah, it's in there, right, it's in there 7 or 8 times.
Yeah, it's in there a lot.
You guys find it in your last paragraph, they table or
Well, again. DJ wants to talk about the legal recourse of the whole resolution as being a total that is all binding to the resolution.
And you folks have ultimately just said exactly that, right? You see the word voluntary, and whether it's this situation or another one. The resolve portion of this just obligates, whereas provides context for the action that's gonna be taken. You know, I can go through the laws with you, but, you know, nothing about that last resolve paragraph, other than saying the mayor's gonna sign a document consistent with everything that was just fleshed out. It doesn't obligate the city financially. This is what resolutions are for. Resolutions direct the administrator or the CEO to take action, the least formal of anything. And it's a situation exactly like this. But ultimately, a well-crafted one talks about all the terms, like what the intent, legislative intent, that's what you guys are here for. Whatever said, what's the intent of that resolution or local law, if it's ambiguous. What you guys meant to do is, and here is offer a voluntary option for retirees. If they want, they don't have to, you know, it doesn't obligate anyone, doesn't obligate the city financially. I would say that all this does is direct the mayor to sign an agreement consistent with all of those things fleshed out in those terms, just like an MOU or memorandum of understanding or any other contract. The terms of the contract spell out what the promises are gonna be or what the terms are gonna be, and that last thing where you sign commits you to that, and that's what this is doing.
So this is a contract with the consortium
It just allows
that
city court
allows
retirees,
anybody who wants to volunteer
If
to
they
go
want.
on the supplement plan.
And just
They
to
do.
clarify, this doesn't even need to be a resolution, I could just sign this document. The reason I put it out to the council is to have this discussion, so that everybody would be clear and understood what it was about. But I, as an officer in the city, I have the right to just go ahead or do this either way. So it doesn't, whether it's in there or not in there, or the accolades, because there is no financial there's no financial cost to the city, and this is a clearly an optional plan. Remember, this was addressed a year ago, we talked about an opt-in plan.
Right.
The health plan. This is exactly what we said, not opting out. You have to opt in, so that's a voluntary program, so
Yeah.
exactly that point. So that's exactly what everybody asked for, it's exactly what we did, and now, you know, the biggest concern I have about this is this. The point of this, bringing this up, is to educate and recognize, we have a fiduciary responsibility. And in the term of our office, minimum, and it's more than that, because it's grown since I started. We're looking at $8 million for the term of everybody in this room would save the city if we started this last year. Now, with that being said, the deficit that we are working on that are shortfall this budget is $1.7 million is where we're at right now, about approximately. And that ironically is about that same amount of what it means. To just give you some raw numbers here. We have, with their increase of health insurance that's coming up this coming year, and a retiree increase that's required. So 14% on health insurance, 17 plus on retirement percentage. It's about $2,500 per employee that we have in the city that we have to come up with in next year's budget. That's a significant amount. We don't create some kind of alternative to get out of that without doing that. Now, there's this plan harms no one, only benefits. Because nobody can be harmed, nobody can be twisted around, and it's very discerning that people are calling around saying it's hurting anybody, but again, it's voluntary, so I'm not saying that, I still say we should consider it, but it's $14,000 per person who signs over. And I think we have a half a dozen people that are willing to sign over right now. $14,000 per person we save. And they also, that's what we save as a city, they're also saving about $1,200 plus their deductibles and annual cost. So their deductibles go away to do that. And again, I try to use the analogy of this is what your coverage is. And Medicare, Medicaid is covering that much of it anyways, 80% of it anyways. So that part is the only part the insurance is ever hitting that we have currently now. So you're double paying for everything that's behind this. And if you get the other plan, it's actually more. There's actually more to it. There's vision, there's some other benefits to doing that has happened. So to me, we have a fiduciary responsibility and to not want to vote on a document for not having a specific wording that we really technically wouldn't have to vote, but have been more than transparent in this whole process, trying to make everybody educated and trying to make them understand what we're trying to do. I think that's what we need to focus on more importantly. This council needs to buy in and understand that we have financial problems, we have financial worries, we have financial concerns that we need to continue to work on and continue to be, and we can't worry. There's 31 retirees that live in the city that are affected, retired that live in the city that are part of this program in retirement. I hope that they would recognize and see the benefit more than anybody. All the other 160 or plus, whatever that number of the retirees that are still out there part of the plan, need to recognize that, we need to do everything we can too, or otherwise, the rest of it. Our plan that we have is insurance policy it's custom to us, and some other municipalities have the same, but if we ever have to stop managing that plan in Blue Cross Blue Shield, that plan goes away. So, it's a very rich plan and a very thing, and this covers the exact richness for identical plus all these highlighted aspects that are here that are extras. So this is what the plan is, all these yellow highlights, the extras that this will add to that program. So again, I'm somewhat frustrated with the tactics of others that are out there taunting something that's not actually true. I encourage this board and others to take the time. There will be follow-ups, consortiums that come in, do education, try to do it. We're gonna do some mailings to try to get educated, because the more people that volunteer to sign up for this, the more of those $14,000 each we could save in those benefits. So,
Question for you. Do we have, is there any way, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we have a responsibility to our retirees as well, to not change horses in the middle of the street. Is there a reason why new contracts can't change, can't say, okay, we're gonna have this Medicare?
yes, they do have that in there, and but it's years, some of those people have to make it up. So say it's 1980, anybody that's retired after 1980 on up. So that has been negotiated in, but it also states in there that we have to keep it equal to or better. This is better. So we are, nobody's saying we shouldn't take care of our retirees. They put in that time. I agree with you 100%. So I'm trying to use my words carefully here, but nobody's not saying that, and nor are we taking away anything or trying to take away anything. Even if we made it mandatory, even if we went to the opt-in program, we're not taking anything away. They're not losing one thing. They would be made whole. Rather than get into a big dissertation, but I still, I think it's worth recognizing and noting that this is a huge benefit to them and a huge benefit to those. And I'm excited to have people signing up and next year standing up, telling everybody else that Chicken Little was telling them this isn't a good thing. And that's not the facts, that's not the truth, and we need to recognize that. So I wouldn't promote anything to deter anybody or destroy anybody's life or take away what they have. And that becomes insulting in some words when you're trying to do it. But we need to recognize that if it's a win-win for everybody, we need to accept that as a win-win and not be paranoid of that stuff.
And I'm disappointed too. I'm disappointed that people aren't listening to the facts, aren't listening to actually what the option is. It's not being forced on them, but I'm disappointed in the people who are spreading falsehoods and not really thinking about the entire picture. So anyway, but
Well, I think it's unfortunate that it's so complicated. Medical coverage these days, and I think that it's significant that we got one phone call and not 10 or 15 or 50. And I appreciate that you map this out the way it is. I think in the future, if the educational piece came more upfront, especially for us, that would be really helpful to get, this on Friday and then get that phone call just made me feel a little cautious. And so I don't think we need to feel bad about the need to explain to the public and to our retirees. This is a good thing. It's an opportunity, like you said, to discuss it. It's complicated. I'm not looking forward to figuring out that aspect of retiring. Might be enough to put it off a few more years.
Might not be there.
Jeez. But it's good that things are getting renegotiated and made better and more efficient. And I understand that we need that as a city. And I am comforted by the fact that we have voluntary in this, and I'm willing to vote for this.
Yeah, and I guess to talk about the timeline real quick, I mean, we just had a consortium overall meeting for the year last week, and literally Wednesday is when this was worked out. So I recognize this is 3 times more money than what the cost of this is 3 times more than it was to be non-voluntary. So I recognize that too. So rather than being $300, it's $900. But that being said, it's still worth the investment to not have that. It's essential because as you said, the anxiety that's the problem I'm upset about, is the anxiety that's imposed on others upsets me more because they're not getting it clear. Because this is a complicated issue. I understand it, just for people to make decisions on internet, let's just talk about that Empire Internet or what you have and trying to do that. You're happy with what you have, you know that works. It's not worth any amount of money to change it. And that's where you are in the insurance world, I understand. But things evolve, things get better, things, all continuously. People need to move with that, try to understand that. Especially, and people tell you it's a win-win. Government never tells you a win-win is every good thing. Everybody seems to be, government, we blame it on the state and the state and the feds and, you keep doing that. Trust me, when they're involved, it's always a mess. I get it. I understand that and I'm trying to recognize that. But all I'm asking is just open minds, not necessarily overall for our retirees and outside and anybody else making the decision to have an open mind to just try to understand and digest it the best they can and then use the facts that are in front of them. If you have an apple and you're paying for an apple and it's not a pear, it's an apple plus a pear, that's a good thing. But it's an apple and a pear, I get it. It's a frustrating thing. But I think some of this has been laid out to be that way, so be part of that educational system so that we can do that. I know that I purposely don't call and solicit votes and I'm calling. Sometimes it's hard to get those educational pieces out there, but certainly reach out to do that. That's all.
I think that this is a good opportunity when it comes to being fiduciarily responsible, not for individuals, but also for the city. And for individuals, they have choice. I've seen this work out in other arenas where retirees were surprised at the savings and also the benefits under the same plan consortium. So I think it's a positive that this is not a mandatory opt type program. People have choice here. That's something I believe in strongly. Folks should have choice in what they're getting into.
As people see other people getting the benefits and see that it works out and see that they get to, still have the coverage that they expected to have, they too will think about opting in. That would be great.
Well,
This is the actual conversation that the mayor and myself had this afternoon. We basically covered everything we're discussing right now. And it's nice to see that I'm not here dictating everything. It's nice to be hearing from each one of you.
Yeah,
That's the purpose. So that was the point of being the resolution. Otherwise, I could have just done it, explained it later, and or had an asked theory opinion.
no, this is just the way, I mean, personally, when I retired in 2014, I had 7 years that I stole back sick time. And so I didn't have to pay for insurance for 7 years. And then when I was going to have to start paying, I went down to the Office for the Aging, and a very nice young woman had a sheet and had all the Medicare supplement plans. And someone else who worked there walked through, saw me, said, hey, you know, what are you doing? And I said, I'm looking over the supplement plans, and she said, do not give up your school insurance. So that's stuck.
And that's the logic that's put in, but things change and things have evolved. We've evolved from being a complete opt-out program at 300 to an opt-in program, 900. You can't negotiate as good a deal as negotiating for 1 or 250. But at the end of the story is that that's what this educational piece is. Keep an open mind. It's not like that. We were there then, but obviously the aging be educated, because like I said, there's 31 people in the city. I think in our county, there's 86, something like that, 86, and that still live within our county. So it'd be helpful to us, the aging be educated as well. And I just want to make sure that we all understand and recognize and support something doesn't ask you, rather than reflect back to maybe 2002, reflect to what.
No, 2021.
Sorry. So it's, that's a long time, right? So that's a long time ago in this world, this is the technical world, it continues to change.
maybe it would be helpful to, when we have the presentation or when you have more materials to make sure the Office of the Aging gets that.
They will be educated with, yes.
Yeah, that's great.
So we'll continue with it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions?
Councilmember Sullivan,
Hi.
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane.
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson,
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye.
Agenda number 4, approve special event permit for YMCA 5K run and walk to be held in Yeaman Park on October 12th, 2024.
Resolved that the city of Portland Common Council does hereby approve for issuance by the city clerk a special event permit, a sound device permit without fee for the YMCA 5K run and walk to be held at Yeaman Park in vicinity from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on October 12th, 2024.
Ms. Sullivan, Mr. Michaels, any questions?
Wonderful.
Yes, it is a good thing. So, all those in favor, call it, please.
Councilmember Sullivan,
Hi.
Councilmember Pinello.
Aye.
Councilmember Lane.
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson.
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Agenda number 5, approve special event permit for family and children's counseling services held the homeless event in Courthouse Park on October 18th, 2024.
Resolved that the city of Portland Common Council does hereby approve for issuance by the city clerk a special event permit and to family and children's counseling services for the Help the Homeless event in Courthouse Park from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on October 18th, 2024.
Motion, Ms. Sullivan, Mr. Beckwith. Any questions?
Can you tell us a little bit about the event?
Do it.
So the organization intends to try to connect homeless individuals with services and programs. So they're gonna invite agencies to set up tables and kind of a information sharing event.
Okay.
So the idea is, so this is part of this whole group that's gonna be involved in this, they're all part of the solution to making that. And because homelessness is so complicated, there's many people that fall into different categories. It might be alcohol, drug treatment, it might be mental health, it might be just needing a home, it might need meals, directives. And so we really don't have a index to where to go to really put them into that. So the idea is them to go around and talk, and give it another way to introduce. Our SOS team for the Catholic Charities is a group that's going out and trying to put that together as well. So another way for them to interact. So there's numerous attempts to do that, and some great things coming around the corner to help with our specific homelessness in our community.
So this is an event specific to the homeless who are gathered or will gather and.
Right.
Bring the kids.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good for everybody to understand. I think we agree for here for sure, to go through it and understand what services are available, what are, it's pretty extensive. And try to get some kind of understanding so that maybe if you're having that communication with somebody, you can kind of put them where that might be best directed to go.
Okay.
Because we don't really have a one-off, receptionist, if you will, that can say, oh, we go over here.
Right.
And sometimes it's complicated, that you go here. So, but it's great for them to feel comfortable talking to people and part of that, not in a doctor setting or an office setting outside, so they're, and the SOS team's gonna try to direct people that are outside of other areas right to this event, to be able to do that. So I think it's good for them to, they've come a long way and be able to get some funding to help to the council, so it's great to have.
I will send an email after the meeting to council members with the contact information for the event organizer, so if you have questions, or, you can contact them.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Roll please.
Councilmember Silliman,
Aye.
Councilmember Pinello.
Aye.
Councilmember Lane.
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson.
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Agenda item number 6, approved special event permit for DAV Field of Combat Boot fundraisers to be held November 9th, 2024.
Resolved that the city of Portland Common Council does hereby approve for issuance by the city clerk a special event permit to the Disabled American Veterans Portland Memorial Chapter 153 for the purposes of holding a Field of Combat Boot fundraiser at the intersection of Tompkins Street, Broadway Ave, and Delaware Ave from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on November 9th, 2024.
We have one of these every week, I have to go slow.
I know.
So we do it. We do have a.
That's right.
So we do have a couple representatives from the DAV if they're willing to come up and discuss this, but the DAV obviously it means a lot to all of us in different ways, and they're, we're huge supporters of them, and I do a cook off there and never win either, but.
Because your stuff isn't as good to be raw.
I think
Mine didn't good either, so obviously, that's great.
Well, we would like to have this Field of Combat Boot on Saturday, November 9th. It is Veterans Day weekend. The goal is to raise much needed funds for our organization. And if you have any questions, I'd love to answer.
And it'll stay right here, right,
Right,
with our DAV.
Yes. The plan is to have 6 people for that intersection, one at each side of the traffic light, with 2 alternates in the event that something needs to break. Maybe they need to use the restroom.
Empty the boot.
Empty the food.
Boot
Thank you.
runner.
Thank you.
not with that.
We have the backing of the fire department. The police department's been contacted. They cannot afford manpower to help us out, but it's my belief that they'll be making a presence in the area. We'll be suited up with vests, reflective vests. We'll be easily identified. We'll have phones. What else? Throw it at me.
That's it. Are you going to do anything in the,
We're already approved. So you don't gotta
are you
sell
doing
it.
anything more in the plaza? Are you doing it in the plaza?
We are also doing it in the plaza. I did address that
But
because,
it's not on the street. I just want to
It's not
educate
under- it's
everybody
not-
else.
yes, we're gonna set up between McDonald's and Friendly's. There's a nice little island of grass there. We'll have a pop-up with a few members. It's equally important to get it publicly out there for public awareness as it is to raise money.
That's why we're having you up here, so we can give you the opportunity to be there.
And this is Norm, he is the commander.
So the DAV, we're growing like crazy. Besides the two vans that we have that pick up veterans from their homes, take them to their either the outpatient clinic on Tripama Road or the hospital in Syracuse, takes them to their appointments, takes them back home. But one of the mission of the DAV is in a nutshell is to help veterans transition from military life into civilian work, which is one of the most difficult things. We're growing, we have now, I'm the commander now, I have a young 42-year-old. That is the senior vice. He'll be taking over the commander spot next year. Besides that, we have 7 Iraq Afghanistan veterans that have joined, and we just had a younger one, 22 years old, that joined. So it's key that we have getting younger members in so that we can make contact with them. On the downside of things, we had 8 veteran suicides in Portland County in 10 years. And so that's one of our things is to suicide awareness, but prevention. A lot of times a veteran doesn't need counseling. He might not need meds. He just needs to have a cup of coffee or beer with another vet that they're there. So we're expanding our mission, but we just want to make sure that we're taking care of every veteran that we can. If disabled veterans obviously are the ones that are eligible for that, the DAV. But if you're an honorably discharged veteran or you have veterans in your family, you can join the auxiliary. And we have a fresh new auxiliary. We have everybody is working together. It's just a whole new fresh crew that's coming together, really doing some great stuff. So we're growing, and it's going to need the funds to be able to keep us going over.
Thank you, Commander. Appreciate
We'd
it.
like to make this an annual.
Perfect. All right, well, thank
Well,
you.
maybe we ought to make a motion before we approve this, that maybe me and you ought to win the chili contest. We heard that somehow?
Talk me out.
The old norm.
That's it, but this, the deputy chief, his lieutenant, he seems to be winning the chili cook-offs.
Yeah.
Make sure so you can't do it this year. I'm tired of eating it up.
You win twice, you can't.
All right, he's out.
We'd like to win once.
And he was doing something illegal, buying votes, I'm not sure. Moving that forward, but thank you guys for all you do, for sure. I really appreciate it. And, you never know how many people you've touched. Okay, so we'll move it, please.
Councilmember Silliman, Councilmember Pinello,
Definitely.
Councilmember Lane,
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson.
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Norm, you didn't answer my question. We winning?
Uh,
I'll approve.
Councilmember Michaels.
Yes.
Then agenda item number 7, accept bid for large diameter hose and authorized contract, Jerome Fire Equipment.
Resolved that the city of Portland awards the bid for large diameter hoses to Jerome Fire Equipment for $46,825 and authorizes Mayor Steve or his designee to sign the contract with SAFE.
Beckwith, Slang, questions? Roll please.
Councilmember Silliman.
Aye.
Councilmember Pinello.
Aye.
Councilmember Lane.
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson.
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Agenda item number 8, create position of confidential secretary to fire chief.
Resolved that the common council approves the creation of the position of confidential secretary to the fire chief. It's recommended and approved within the parameters of civil service.
I'll move it.
Second all. Second. Awesome. Questions? Okay, with this.
Councilmember Silliman.
Aye.
Councilmember Pinello.
Aye.
Councilmember Lane.
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson.
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith. Councilmember Michaels.
Agenda item number 9, accept and recognize donations to Cortland Youth Bureau.
Resolved that the common council accepts the donations listed below and appropriates funds to the Portland Youth Bureau operating budget accounts outlined below. Donation by Royal Motor Company, Chevy Youth Sports in the amount of $1,000 for the youth football program, appropriate to the Sharp Trust line.
That's what we're going to do again, didn't you?
That's it. I'll take that as a motion. Second, Mr. Thompson. Any discussion? Yes, please they're great to help us, and Chevy, that's the National Chevy steps up, does that program, and they do that for every year, and it's great that they continue to do it.
Can we do something for Royal Motors? I don't know, a proclamation or something that, I mean,
They do a lot.
they really support that.
Try to have it, you can do,
Right. We try to do that.
No, I'm
that's the problem.
Oh, then, all right, move it, please.
Councilmember Sullivan. Councilmember Pinello.
Aye.
Councilmember Lane.
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson.
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
All right, so we have a couple of discussion items. I'm not sure that's not on the agenda, but I didn't put this together. So we just got passed out your proposed budget. If any or anybody wants a copy of that, they're here. So their budget, proposed calendar. So I just will go through those dates real quick. So at our council meeting, we'll be receiving the mayor's submitted budget on the 15th. And then the budget session reviews, council review with departments. You'll see there's PD, wastewater, youth bureau clerk. Similar process that we did the year before. On second and fourth, we followed through with the fire department, DPW, law and finance, 29th, any other modifications, and then the 31st if necessary. Then we bring the proposed budget to set the public hearing and tax cap law, proposed budget on the 5th of November, followed by our council meeting, public hearings again on the 19th. And then adopt the budget on December 3rd. So you want to block some of those calendar dates on the 22nd, 24th, 29th, and 31st. So you can make those budget sessions. I don't remember what time we were at. Like 6, yeah. So if everybody wants to block some time for 6, that would be great. Plan on those days so we can make that. Does anybody have any questions on that? Discussions. Back.
We have a meeting on what?
Yeah, it's not local.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we done it in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, just come.
So, yeah,
It's-
either pancakes or spaghetti or.
Let's get the Stella. people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they can do it.
Why do you have a meeting?
Oh, or have the meeting with.
We can have a
I might
DPW,
be
we have a-
disrupted to their event. But we can certainly go there, all of us together and break bread together, I'm sure afterwards, that would be nice.
That would be nice.
Before I distribute this schedule publicly with the process stuff, I want to be sure that these are dates that everybody's
Too late, it's already done.
comfortable with.
Lunch.
Thank you. The other thing I have is the comprehensive plan, so did they get a copy of this?
Coming around.
Okay.
Come around.
So, so as you all know, we have a state grant for the hired consultant, and then the council, approved the contract with EDR. EDR is gonna be the person to do that. And, with that, next step is to appoint a planning and steering committee to oversee the development of the process and decision making. I have a list here of positions of interest, the board interest. Of course, we don't have to fill all, it'd be quite an extensive board, but I would like every one of you to have your input to stakeholders that you believe that would be beneficial, that maybe fit some of these criteria, that you get feedback to my office. If you can either text, or I'm gonna drive it to Andy, sorry. If you want to email Andy or drive it to Andy so that he can follow back with us, and we'll get it back to our coordinator to make sure this get done, but if we can turn this around, do I have a week? If we can turn this around in a week by next Tuesday, that'd be great. So if you can just spend a little bit of time, that would be very helpful. And because I know people I know people that are outside of that, you know, other people that can benefit, and I don't want to just make it.
Scott, do you want? Yes, qualities, applications.
Yeah, all that would be helpful, especially if I'm not aware of that, and you could send those names in a submission, we'll fall back with further questions, but anything you can help give that information of why you think it might fit the environmental or the planning board, or, we have certain members in mind that are here, so that fit that bill, probably in 2 different, like he fits GIS and in the planning aspect, so I think those would be beneficial parts if they can fit 2 of these categories, that's, that's awesome. So put some good thought to it if you could, you all know great people in our community that can help drive our city. This is future planning of our city. We don't want to just talk about the issues now, what we don't like. We need to talk about where we need to be 5, 10 years from now. This is highly important. Please take your time to do that. And, between commercials or whatever, or whatever you're doing, take that time to do it. That would be awesome. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions on that? Anybody have anything else? Okay, with that said, I'll accept the motion for adjournment. Get back with Ms. Silliman, all in favor?
Hi.